Superman, Superman, Superman. The one person personifying what it meant to be a hero that everyone need and deserve. It's crazy that it has been over 10 years since we saw a Superman film, and a new one, a remake, is finally here. Superman is coming, and I'm filled with unhealthy amount of toxic internet dopamine because what's even crazier is that the director for the movie is none other than James Francis Gunn Jr., the man I clearly praise, and I'll tell you why. So let's get to the basic. We all know the three stages of production: pre-production, production, and post-production. This phase applies to most of the things in the working environment. Pre-production is concept, script, storyboard. Production is the filming. Post-production is the editing part. This is how I was taught in college when I was making commercials, short films, and the likes. That is literally the reason why I like James Gunn. He is the embodiment of that. The pre-production for Superman is already going in a pretty good path, with Warner Brothers Discovery, a company responsible for the film distribution, chose James Gunn as the head of DC along with Peter Safran. We can easily predict where this is going since James Gunn's well-known work has been his portfolio of well-written superhero movies loved by both audience and critics. So, in 31st January 2023, James Gunn and Peter Safran announced a Superman film with, of course, James Gunn as the director and the writer. Even though Gunn felt hesitant, mostly because at first this was a creative decision, later on he felt emotionally connected to the character because of his late father, whose birthday was shared with the film's release date. In May 2023, the casting for the movie began while at the same time, James Gunn was storyboarding the script. In the end of June 2023, David Cornsweet and Rachel Brosnahan has been set to play Superman and Lois Lane. In December 2023, Nicholas Hoult was set to play the villain Lex Luthor. Why? I don't know. Moving on. The filming began on late February 2024 and wrapped in late July. The post-production began on August 2024 and the teaser trailer is finally here telling us that the film is going to come out in July 11, 2025. I mean, the process of making a film could not get more absolutely perfect as this. If you look at popular movies with some of the worst storytelling ever, most of the time it's because of production issues. Look at Morbius, the movie where apparently they showed a graffiti of Spider-Man in the trailer without the director's consent and then later got removed in the film, which isn't the biggest worry actually, because it should be under halted production caused by the pandemic, which resulted multiple reshoots twice and had its release date pushed back 8 times. Or Solo, a Star Wars story where mid-production, a new director stepped in and began reshooting 70% of the film. The Flash pre-production fell short because of the script being thrown around like a ping pong ball, had its release date delayed twice, and then having the VFX artists work under crunch hour.
Chaos was just kind of the normal. My first day, my supervisor was basically like, okay, everything's on fire and we need everything to like get seen right now by the directors and everything. And like every day was kind of a new challenge in that sense.
Oh yeah, and Ezra Miller coming Grand Theft Auto. Same thing applied with John Carter and the New Mutants. One of the most important things I learned from my first semester in studying multimedia broadcasting is that pre-production is important. When you're making a concept, everyone needs to be on the same page. And from that point, there's no going back. That means you cannot reshoot things to change the story. Someone who knew well about stuff like this is definitely James Gunn. But that's not even the only thing that qualified him to my liking. His story has always revolved around stuff that relates to most people. A journey of the underdog filled with music, dark humor, violence, unique visual style. And despite all that, there is a heartfelt themes of friendship and loyalty. I could go all day about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, but for me, the most emotional I've been was watching Peacemaker series, where Peacemaker himself, out of anger, shot his dad in the head. And then he cried for a while because of the realization of what he has done. This is a scene that is crammed between like outdated 2000 jokes and just overreaction. But even then, it managed to fit in. This is the beauty of Gunn. And the teaser trailer for the Superman remake is not just that, but it's also the enhanced world building. He understood that it wouldn't be a fun remake without introducing characters that we have never seen before in the original. It wouldn't be a fun remake without using unique camera shots that would be impossible to do in the past. It wouldn't be a fun remake without projecting heartfelt emotions that was never present in the past. Gunn knew how to make a movie about a concept as simple as Superman more interesting, more grandiose. Notice how I put a very fat emphasis on the word remake? It's quite obvious why. Previously, I criticized, I just take a shit on the live-action remake of How to Train Your Dragon. And the contrast difference between that and this is just so clear on which one was actually made out of passion. And I'm very happy that the positive outrage by the internet is not because of the hype around the IP or that James Gunn was simply directing it, but more so on how James Gunn do it. Don't forget to subscribe.